Well, a lot of progress has been made the last few days. Haven't filmed a whole lot since I got the main hoop and a few of the first bars in, but we have a full X, we have crossbars, some down bars there into the main hoop. This thing looks like a cage. Still got to make a harness bar for it. I'm going to start working on that today, start figuring out my measurements for that. I got to throw the seat back in here, but overall, pretty crazy that I've ended up building my own cage. Couldn't be any happier with how this has turned out so far. Can't wait to see it actually finished. Got the seat mocked up in here, and I don't think I ever showed the seat mocked in here with the main hoop, but it fits so nicely. Very happy. Very, very happy with all of this. It's all just tacked together. It still has to be welded, but man. So I'm going to now spend the next few hours sitting back here trying to figure out how to make a harness bar for this and make it right so that it's not going to kill me if I do get in a crash. Figured I should actually film this one since I really haven't filmed any of our actual pipe bending. So got my pipe ready. Gotta go turn on the air compressor for the bender. Got my measurements. So overall we need a 49.5 inch width. I want to do a 74-degree bend, and it needs to be about 8 inches deep roughly to sit properly with the seat to get the, well, it's probably going to be shorter than 8 inches, but that's probably what I'm going to leave to try and figure out where she's going to sit. So Colin and I were arguing about how to do it, and he came up with that, so I'm going to try and do that. I don't really know how to explain it, but yeah. Essentially put a bend in it, and I have a scrap piece that's already got the proper angle, so I'm going to try and go off of here and then measure between them and hopefully get my 49.5 somewhat accurately. Maybe not, but we'll see. I'm sure there'll be some comments yelling at me on this one, but oh well, here we go. And there we go. Got myself my harness bar bent up. My 49.5 inches lays out right around in here for both sides. Well, for how I'm setting it up, it's going to lay about right here. So this is my extra just to play with and see how she fits in there. So yeah, see what happens. This is going to be a tomorrow project. It's been very warm today. The garage and the car are very warm on the inside, so I truly don't feel like spending much more time in there today. So that we're going to start working on tomorrow and see what else happens from there. But overall, progress has been great. Hopefully, I need to start filming more, but we all know how that goes. I get busy working on stuff, and then it's just easier to work on it than it is to film it. So see what happens. I'm going to try and film me getting this all tacked in here tomorrow. And then hopefully once the harness bar is in, that's the last piece, I think. And then I'm going to weld as much of it as I can with it tacked in the car how it is. And then cut my welds on my support pieces and then tilt it forward, weld everything that I couldn't access before. and go from there. This is just how I have it laid out in my head of how I'm going to do it. See what actually happens. It's obviously pretty hard as it is. So, yeah, it's been a great challenge, though. I'm very happy with how this is going out. I mean, I overthought that harness bar all day of how to lay it out until Colin yells at me. Then Colin yells at me and I kind of get my shit together. But for the most part, I sat there and overthought it all day. So I'm glad that I finally just jumped into it and did it. And luckily, the way Colin told me to do it, guess what? It worked. So I definitely can't explain it, but it worked for me. And we now have a harness bar that we can start modifying to go in the car. So fun stuff. Well, last night I was able to get the harness bar bent up. Tonight, hopefully going to get it fitted in the car. Going to get it notched at the right distance for both sides, and then get it in here and get the right angle for the harness. So, going to be very tedious, just like the rest of it has been, but oh well, just got to be patient and work through it, and we'll get her done. I just can't stop looking at how good this thing looks, especially looking at it through the car. It's so cool. So darn cool. I can't believe I'm building my own cage still. No, I've probably said that 100 times, but it's just awesome. So satisfying. So, I'm just gonna get right to it. Time for the first test fit in the car. See where we're at. It should be long at the moment. I've been doing that on purpose just for dialing things in, so alright, definitely still wide. But I will say my notch looks nice for both sides even. So well, I'm gonna start taking more off, so I'm just gonna let the time lapse roll on until she fits now. close. I'm going to start with taking off an 1/8 inch at a time. It's a lot of back and forth, but that's how I'm going to do it. It's dumb, but I'd rather take a little bit at a time than try and get the most accurate measurement I possibly can and then cut it wrong. So just take a little bit off at a time, and I've somehow done that for all of this, and it's turned out okay. So why can't we turn out okay on this? We got this bar and then 2 more bars coming down, but the last 2 bars coming down will be made after this is all welded. So heck yeah. And then also find out if I should put some supports on this down to maybe these side bars here. That might be kind of neat, but we'll see. See what we got left over for pipe 2. I should have enough. But yeah, let the fine tuning begin. Final test fit. I have been definitely in and out of here a few times tonight, so should be pretty darn close. And I ain't gonna argue with this. Man, crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I hope that looks cool. I know I gotta find a way to level this. I'm gonna obviously measure up from my floor, find a even spot, but I also gotta make sure I get this in the right spot so that the angle of my harness is correct so that it doesn't kill me in a crash. Yay! So, yeah. Gonna try and figure that out. Like I said, I don't really know how to hold this. I might have to wait till tomorrow to tack this in till... Yeah, I don't know when one of the guys is going to be over this week. But I might have to wait for somebody to be over here to help me hold this one in. But we will see. I've figured out worse things before, so... Gonna keep trucking along here. I'll check back in if it gets tacked in tonight. Otherwise, if I don't figure something out, well, we'll be catching back up when we're tacking it in. I somehow managed to get this harness bar tacked in here by myself tonight. Like, see if I can get a good view with my flashlight in there. Probably not, but oh man, how cool. I truly cannot believe this. Very, very awesome. Notch was a little bad up top here. I think I was leaning back a little bit when I tacked it, but we're level. We're right where we need to be. This side turned out really nice. The gaps have been turning out honestly really good throughout this whole thing, considering you just seen how I was been doing all of these by hand. Holy man. A few more bars to go. Now these are in the last couple bars I want to do are going to go from down here to here, but I don't really know how they're going to look now to have this swooping back like that, so I might rethink those a little bit. We will see. But man. Oh yeah, even the harness, I was able to get that in the correct angle. The recommended spec that I found was between 10 and 20 degrees for my harness angle, and I think the minimum was a 6-inch gap, and we're right about that minimum, but I am so happy with how that looks. Well, I think today is going to be the final welding of the cage. I've got all the bars in. I've got the whole structure welded in place for everything I can weld. Other than these bars here, I just added these in the other day. Very happy with those supports. I thought the harness bar just needed something, and those really tie it all together. So happy with that. Gonna weld those in, and then we're cutting the tacks on the main points of the cage so that we can lean it forward and weld everything that we can't get on the inside of these, on inside of here, and same thing with back there. So that's my plan for today. I'm gonna just see what happens and get to chugging along on it. I still can't believe how good this thing looks. Like, having these bars added on to the harness bar just has done so much for it. Couldn't be happier with it. Hopefully gonna be getting it all wrapped up here in a couple days.